What is your path to Dharma? Welcome back to another episode of our Srimad Bhagavatam summer reading marathon.
Day
Welcome
three.
back. Thank you for
Canto, third
being
canto, day three. I'm
great.
really excited about this chapter. How about you? Because
Same.
I already like read the little tiny bit of the beginning, and I
I knew
was
you
like,
did based off
yeah,
your text.
Krishna's waking up. Ay, ay, ay. This is
Woohoo!
about to get good. Thank you, Vidura, for your amazing questions
As always.
to set up all of this amazing stuff we're about to learn. So,
Yes. And thank you to our wonderful community for your beautiful comments. Somebody was making me laugh. I can't quite remember who it was, but they're like, you have a duty to this small audience to continue to read. You can't leave us hanging for a couple of weeks. I'm like, yes, you're
we're
right.
so sorry. We're so sorry. Please forgive. Please be patient with us. Okay, some crazy stuff did happen, and it's actually
I know.
still
And
going
people
down.
want and people want to know. So I don't know.
Okay, well, I don't want to bring this too much over here, but basically, I became a whistleblower against my federal agency that I work for, and I'm in the middle of deep conversations with the House and Senate, and um, it's playing out as we speak. So,
Enough said. Yeah.
enough said. I do have a lawyer. That's it.
Hmm.
Okay,
Hmm.
so you could probably like, I don't know what'll come up in different countries, but if you Google my name, well, with the words Coast Guard Academy, you will see what happens.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Um, moving on. I'm good, by the way. And you know what? I just also want to, before we move on from that, thank those who sent such beautiful encouragement. I should not project my fears. And that's on me. Like I shouldn't worry. I shouldn't. It's almost like when we're trying to get into this state of no expectation. I'm not doing anything for fruit. Okay, right?
Hmm.
That also kind of should include possible negative consequences coming, right? I
Hmm.
mean, it should include both things. I shouldn't worry about like victory or defeat. That's what
Right.
Krishna told me. So this is one of those things that you just have to learn through and be super self-aware of how you're reacting. And I know I'm extra associating with my personal game character right now.
Yeah.
So, my story's getting crazy. Anyway, let's read because
As
um,
this is where it's at. This is the nectar of life here.
I'm ridiculously
Okay.
grateful.
Anything else before I read the obeisances?
I don't think so. let's let's just read. It's a beautiful day. I thank the universe. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Okay.
Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is our very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead Narayan, unto Narayan Rishi, the supremmost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam, and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. Here we go.
That's
Canto 3, Part 1, Chapter 8, Text 1. Go ahead, pick it up.
okay. First of all, I just want to practice saying the word Garbhodakasayi. Garbhodakasayi.
Garbhodaka,
Okay.
Garbhodakasayi.
Garbhodakasayi Vishnu. Garbhodakasayi Vishnu. Okay. Um. Okay. I'm ready. Text one.
Yep.
The great sage Maitreya Muni said to Vidura, "The royal dynasty of King Puru is worthy to serve the pure devotees because all the descendants of that family are devoted to the personality of Godhead. You are also born in that family, and it is wonderful that because of your attempt, the transcendental pastimes of the Lord are becoming newer and newer at every moment." Wow, I love that. It's like the reality is being created. Every
Right.
question Vidura asks, it like opens up a level.
Let me now begin speaking on the Bhagavata Purana, which was directly spoken to the great sages by the personality of Godhead for the benefit of those who are entangled in extreme miseries for the sake of very little pleasure.
Which this is the Bhagavata Purana. I think I'm right.
I think so.
Yeah, okay. Some time ago, being inquisitive to know, Sanat Kumara, the chief of the boy saints, accompanied by other great sages, inquired exactly like you about the truths regarding Vasudeva, the Supreme, from Lord Sankarsana, who is seated at the bottom of the universe.
At that time, Lord Sakarasana was meditating upon his supreme lord, whom the learned esteemed is Lord Vyasudev. But for the sake of the advancement of the great learned sages, he slightly opened his lotus-like eyes and began to speak.
The sages came from the highest planets down to the lower region through the water of the Ganges. And therefore, Gangas, this is where my pronunciation.
Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah. I don't
Ganges.
remember. I don't remember.
They say Ganges, and that over here,
Ganges.
and that doesn't sound right.
The I don't know.
Right. Okay. Sorry. I'm going to start over.
Yeah.
Apologize, everyone. The sages came from the highest planets down to the lower region through the water of the Ganges, and therefore the hair on their heads was wet. They touched the lotus feet of the Lord, which are worshipped with various paraphernalia by the daughters of the Serpent King when they desire good husbands.
The four Kumaras, headed by Sanat Kumara, who all knew the transcendental pastimes of the Lord, glorified the Lord in rhythmic accents with selected words full of affection and love. At that time, Lord Sakarsana, with his thousands of raised hoods, began to radiate an effulgence from the glowing stones on his head.
Is he a snake?
Kind of seems like it, but I don't
With
know exactly.
thousands of heads?
Well, that
Lord,
wouldn't, I don't know.
okay, Lord Sankarsana.
Hmm.
Yes. Lord Sankarsana thus spoke the purport of Srimad Bhagavatam to the great sage Sanat Kumara, who had already taken.
Is that Aku?
Aku, come here. Come here. Maybe we're going to make eye contact. Come here. Sorry.
He's
Maybe
excited.
this can't even. Aku, stop.
It's okay. He's excited.
Come here. Well, a dog walked by, and I really should have shut the door before I started this. So, wow, all the interruptions today. Is this my scattered energy? I'm feeling a little bit like maybe we need to ground a little bit.
Well, yeah, maybe let's take a couple of deep breaths,
Yeah.
but also this is everyday life. And
Yeah.
Aku's excited to hear what is about to be said by Lord Sankarasana.
Right. Didn't we have this talk about dogs hearing
The
the
Srimad.
the Srimad and then they get to be humans next time or something
Yeah,
like that?
someone did say that. I didn't
Aku,
fact check that, but
see if you'll come over here. Okay. Where was I?
text 7.
Text
Yes.
7. Okay. Lord Sankarsana thus spoke the purport of Srimad Bhagavatam to the great sage. Sanat Kumara. Is that the great sage just speaking onto my dog right now?
Maybe.
Who had already
Go pick him up. Yeah. Aku. Hi, sir.
My little baby, everyone. Okay, well, we're going to try one more time to do text 7. Hi, I know, I love you. I know, I love you. I love you.
Oh, sweet baby.
Okay.
Text 7.
7. Lord Sankarsana thus spoke the purport of Srimad Bhagavatam to the great sage Sanat Kumara, who had already taken the vow of renunciation. Sanat Kumara also, in his turn, when inquired of by Sankyana Muni explained Srimad Bhagavatam as he heard it from Sankarsana. Wow, that took like 15 minutes to get through.
No, no. That's an exaggeration. That was fine. Text 8. The great sage Sankayanya, am I saying that? Was the chief amongst the transcendentalists. And when he was describing the glories of the Lord in terms of Srimad Bhagavatam, it so happened that my spiritual master, Parasara, and Braspati, both heard him.
The great sage Parasara, as aforementioned, being so advised by the great sage Pulastya, spoke unto me the foremost of the Puranas. I shall also describe this before you, my dear son, in terms of my hearing, because you are always my faithful follower.
Yay. At that time when the three worlds were submerged in water, how do we say this again? Garbhodakasayi? Garbhodakasayi? Garbhodakasayi Vishnu was alone, lying on his bedstead. The great snake Ananta, and although he appeared to be in slumber in his own internal potency, free from the action of the external world, his eyes were not completely closed.
Just like the strength of fire within fuel wood, the Lord remained within the water of disillusion, submerging all the living entities in their subtle bodies. He lay in this self-invigorated energy called Kala.
The Lord lay down for 4,000 yuga cycles in his internal potency, and by his external energy he appeared to be sleeping within the water. When the living entities coming out for further development of their fruitive actions, actuated by the energy called Kala Sakti, he saw his transcendental body as bluish.
Ah, the blue. The subtle subject matter of creation on which the Lord's attention was fixed was agitated by the material mode of passion, and thus the subtle form of creation pierced through his abdomen.
Okay, we've heard this.
Yeah.
Piercing through. Oh, go ahead. Were you saying something?
What's the significance of the blue? I feel like we've talked about this before a little bit. What we were bringing up is Krishna blue, but what's the significance of blue? Because Vishnu's blue also.
I don't know. The aggregate combination of living entities appeared to be bluish. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's something to research. Okay, text 14. Piercing through, his sum total form of the fruitive activities of the living entities took the shape of the bud of a lotus flower generated from the personality of Vishnu. And by his supreme will, it illuminated everything, like the sun, and dried up the vast waters of devastation.
Into that universal lotus flower, Lord Vishnu personally entered as the super soul. And when it was thus impregnated with all the modes of material nature, the personality of Vedic wisdom, whom we call the self-born, was generated.
Brahma, born out of the lotus flower, could not see the world, although he was situated in the whirl. He therefore circumambulated. Brahma was born out of the lotus flower, could not see the world, although he was situated in the world. He therefore circumambulated all the space, and while moving his eyes in all directions, he achieved 4 heads in terms of the 4 directions.
Okay, so that's why Brahma has 4 heads. Lord Brahma, situated in that lotus, could not perfectly understand the creation, the lotus, or himself. At the end of the millennium, the air of devastation began to move the water and the lotus in great circular waves.
Lord Brahma, in his ignorance, contemplated, who am I that am situated on the top of this lotus? Wherefrom has it sprouted? There must be something downwards, and that from which this lotus has grown must be within the water.
Lord Brahma, thus contemplating, entered the water through the channel of the stem of the lotus. But in spite of entering the stem and going near to the navel of Vishnu, he could not trace out the root.
O Vidura, while searching in that way about his existence, Brahma reached his ultimate time, which in the eternal wheel in the hand of Vishnu which is the eternal wheel in the hand of Vishnu, and which generates fear in the mind of the living entity like the fear of death.
Wow. At the end of Brahma's 100 years, and when his meditation was complete, he developed the required
Oh, no, you
knowledge.
skipped one.
Okay. Thereafter, thank you.
Yep.
Text 21. Thereafter, being unable to achieve the desired destination, he retired from such searching and came back again to the top of the lotus. Thus, controlling all objectives, he concentrated his mind on the Supreme Lord.
At the end of Brahma's 100 years, when his meditation was complete, he developed the required knowledge, and as a result, he could see in his heart the Supreme within himself, whom he could not see before with the greatest endeavor.
Okay. Text 23. Brahma could see that on the water there was a gigantic lotus-like white bedstead, the body of Sesa Naga, on which the personality of Godhead was lying alone. The whole atmosphere was illuminated by the rays of the jewels bedeckling the hood of Sesa Naga, and that illumination dissipated all the darkness of those regions.
The luster of the transcendental body of the Lord mocked the beauty of the coral mountain. The coral mountain is very beautifully dressed by the evening sky, but the yellow dress of the Lord mocked its beauty. There is gold on the summit of the mountain, but the Lord's helmet, bedecked with jewels, mocked it. The mountain's waterfalls, herbs, etc., with a panorama of flowers, seem like garlands, but the Lord's gigantic body and his hands and legs, decorated with jewels, pearls, tulsi leaves, and flower garlands, mocked the scene on the mountain.
His transcendental body, unlimited in length and breadth, occupied the three planetary systems, upper, middle, and lower. His body was self-illuminated by unparalleled dress and variegatedness and was properly ornamented.
Of course. The Lord showed his lotus feet by raising them. His lotus feet are the source of all awards achieved by devotional service free from the material contamination. Such awards are for those who worship him in pure devotion. The splendor of the transcendental rays from his moon-like toenails and fingernails appeared like the petals of a flower.
He also acknowledged the service of the devotees and vanquished their distress by his beautiful smile. The reflection of his face, decorated with earrings, was so pleasing because it dazzled with the rays from his lips and the beauty of his nose and eyebrows.
Oh, my dear Vidura, the Lord's waist was covered with yellow cloth resembling the saffron dust of the kadamba flower, and it was encircled by a well-decorated belt. His chest was decorated with the Srivastava marking and a necklace of unlimited value.
This is really painting the picture of that, that painting you see of Vishnu lying in the causal ocean, right?
Yeah.
As a sandalwood tree is decorated with fragrant flowers and branches, the Lord's body was decorated with valuable jewels and pearls. He was the self-situated tree, the Lord of all others in the universe. As a sandalwood tree is covered with many snakes, so the Lord's body was also covered by the hoods of Ananta. I love this cosmic snake.
Yeah. Like a great mountain, the Lord stands as the abode for all moving and non-moving entities. He is the friend of the snakes because Lord Ananta is his friend. As a mountain has thousands of golden peaks, so the Lord was seen with the thousands of golden helmeted hoods of Ananta Naga. And as a mountain is sometimes filled with jewels, so also his transcendental body was fully decorated with valuable jewels. And as a mountain is sometimes submerged in the ocean water, so the Lord is sometimes submerged in the water of devastation.
Like in the cycle?
I think.
They're talking about where it's like the universe is created and destroyed, and after it's destroyed, it becomes the sea of devastation, and then Vishnu goes to sleep and then wakes back up and does it again.
That makes sense to me.
I feel like that's kind of what we've been reading.
Right.
Anyone explain or elucidate on that? Text 31. Lord Brahma, thus looking upon the Lord in the shape of a mountain, concluded that he was Hari, the personality of Godhead. He saw that the garland of flowers on his chest glorified him with Vedic wisdom in sweet songs and looked very beautiful. He was protected by the Sudarasana, Sudarasana, no, Sudarsana. Wow.
Mhm.
Sudarsana wheel for fighting, and even the sun, moon, air, fire, etc., could not have access to him.
When Lord Brahma, the maker of the universal destination, thus saw the Lord, he simultaneously glanced over creation. Lord Brahma saw the lake in Lord Vishnu's navel, and the lotus flower, as well as the devastating water, the drying air, and the sky, all became visible to him.
Lord Brahma, thus being surcharged with the mode of passion, became inclined to create. And after seeing the 5 causes of creation indicated by the personality of Godhead, he began to offer his respectful prayers on the path of the creative mentality. That's the
Thus
end of
ends.
chapter 8. Can I talk you into doing chapter 9? It's too good to stop right now.
Yes, I just need to blow my nose.
Okay.
I do. So I don't know. Do we want to
No, feel free to step away for a second. Chapter 9 is called Brahma's Prayers for Creative Energy. And I just need to know what happens right now. And I love that we're just gonna take a second. Actually, as Shay takes a break. I feel like my dreams have been so wild lately, everyone. That is also happening. And the other day I was having a really super lucid dream, and it was like I was real busy. I was in meetings all day or something in this wherever I was, and I was very much alert and aware. And it's like I remember thinking, I'm going to remember all this. And it's like as soon as I got back in my body, gone, like gone. And I hate that. Does that ever happen to anybody where it's like it feels super important and it's like I have this memory of it was important and I'm doing stuff over there? Where am I when I'm dreaming anyway? I've brought this up before. Where are we? We're in a physical place, I'm sure, but where is it? And what's it have to do with what we're reading right now? Are we just floating around in some other dimension? Where's that book about like dream world? Hi,
Hi.
Shay's back. I was just chatting about my dreams and how I just like sometimes forget completely. And I hate that. I'm like, where am I? What am I doing? And how come I can only remember sometimes? Okay, chapter 9.
Chapter 9. I know someone in the comments like, you have to do 2 chapters a day. Who cares if it doesn't sink in?
I wanted to sink in. I know.
It's not going to. They said it's not going to. Well, they might be true about that. It might take a few times.
Once we get all the way through it, we'll be able to just like, okay, it's in there. And then we start over and be like, oh, this is what that meant.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Chapter 9.
Okay.
Brahma's prayers for creative energy.
Go ahead. You can begin.
Lord Brahma said, "Oh, my Lord, today, after many, many years of penance, I have come to know about you. Oh, how unfortunate the embodied living entities are that they are unable to know your personality. My Lord, you are the only knowable object because there is nothing supreme beyond you. If there is anything supposedly superior to you, it is not the absolute. You exist as the supreme by exhibiting the creative energy of matter.
The form which I see is eternally freed from the material contamination and has invented to show mercy to the devotees as a manifestation of internal potency. This incarnation is the origin of many other incarnations, and I am born from the lotus feet, from the lotus flower grown from your navel home.
Oh, my Lord, I do not see a form superior to your present form of eternal bliss and knowledge. In your impersonal Brahman effulgence, in the spiritual sky, there is no occasional change. Let me start over. In your impersonal Brahman effulgence in the spiritual sky, there is no occasional change and no deterioration of internal potency. I surrender unto you because whereas I am proud of my material body and senses, Your lordship is the cause of the cosmic manifestation, and yet you are untouched by matter.
This present form, or any transcendental form expanded by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, is equally auspicious for all the universes. Since you have manifested this eternal personal form upon whom your devotees meditate, I therefore offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Those who are destined to be dispatched to the path of hell neglect your personal form because of speculating on material topics.
Mhm. Oh, my Lord, persons who smell the aroma of your lotus feet, carried by the air of Vedic sound through the holes of the ears, accept your devotional service. For them, you are never separated from the lotus of their hearts.
Mm. O my Lord, the people of the world are embarrassed by all material anxieties. They are always afraid. They always try to protect wealth, body, and friends. They are filled with lamentation and unlawful desires and paraphernalia, and they avariciously base their undertakings on the perishable concepts of my and mind. As long as they do not take shelter of your lotus feet, they are full of such anxieties.
Right. That's so true.
Yeah.
That is exactly what we do as humans.
Yeah.
We protect our wealth, our body, our friends. We're filled with lamentation, unlawful desires, and paraphernalia.
Yeah.
And we are like flailing around down here. It seems like with no direction whatsoever, unless, unless we can take shelter at the lotus feet of the Lord.
Yeah.
Okay. Text 7. Oh my Lord, persons who are bereft of the all auspicious performance of chanting and hearing about your transcendental activities are certainly unfortunate and are also bereft of good sense. They engage in inauspicious activities, enjoying sense gratification for a very little while.
Mm. O great actor, my lord, all these poor creatures are constantly perplexed by hunger, thirst, severe cold, secretion and bile, attacked by coughing winter, blasting summer, rains, and many other disturbing elements, and overwhelmed by strong sex urges and indefatigable and anger. I
Yes.
take pity on them, and I am very much aggrieved for them.
Yeah, we're a mess down here. We are a hot mess. Oh my Lord, the material miseries are without factual existence for the soul. Yet, as long as the conditioned soul sees the body as meant for sense enjoyment, he cannot get out of the entanglement of material miseries, being influenced by your external energy.
Such non-devotees engage their senses in very troublesome and extensive work, and they suffer insomnia at night because their intelligence constantly breaks their sleep with various mental speculations. They are frustrated in all their various plans by supernatural power. Even great sages, if they are against your transcendental topics, must rotate in this material world.
Oh, my Lord, your devotees can see you through the ears by the process of bona fide hearing, and thus their hearts become cleansed, and you take your seat there. You are so merciful to your devotees that you manifest yourself in the particular eternal form of transcendence in which they always think of you. Okay, wait, let me just take that in for a second. You are so merciful to your devotees that you manifest yourself in the particular eternal form of transcendence in which they always think of you. So it's like, okay, we think of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we think of this as it's being described. So for our, let's see, what am I trying to say? Our, experience that we end up having in reality, it's being manifested this way because that's what we recognize. Do you understand what I'm saying here?
No, not exactly. I don't.
Okay.
I'm saying the Supreme Personality Godhead is so merciful to the devotees that he or they manifest themselves in this particular way that we can see them and that we can always think of them.
Because
Are we saying the same thing?
I think so, but I guess what I'm asking is that because we remember through all the different, in some little way, as we've incarnated through the different universes, Vishnu always wakes up this way. So we like, yep, here's Vishnu again. Do you know what I'm saying? Like the tiny fractal of our souls keeps recognizing this cycle of creation and destruction. And hence, in his mercy, Vishnu keeps manifesting in this way. This is how we know him.
Right.
Oh, it starts. Vishnu wakes up.
Oh, yes, I do see what you're saying now. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry to get that out. But it was like I needed to sort of process what was being said. Anybody, please, again, give us some more information on this if you know.
Yeah. Okay, text 12. My lord, you are not very much satisfied by the worship of the demigods, who arrange for your worship very pompously, with various paraphernalia, but who are full of material hankerings. You are situated in everyone's heart at the supersoul just to show your causeless mercy, and you are the eternal well-wisher, but you are unavailable for the non-devotee.
But the pious activities of the people, such as performance of Vedic rituals, charity, austere penances, and transcendental service, performed with a view to worship you and satisfy you by offering you the fruitive results, are also beneficial. Such acts of religion never go in vain.
Let me offer my obeisances unto the supreme transcendence, who is eternally distinguished by his internal potency. His indistinguishable, impersonal feature is realized by intelligence for self-realization. I offer my obeisances unto him, who is by his pastime, who by his pastimes enjoys the creation, maintenance, and dissolution of the cosmic manifestation.
Let me take shelter of the lotus feet of him whose incarnations, qualities, and activities are mysterious imitations of worldly affairs. One who invokes his transcendental names, even unconsciously, at the time he quits this life, is certainly washed immediately of the sins of many, many births and attains him without fail.
That's comforting.
Yes, I love that. Please, and thank you.
Your lordship is the prime root of the tree of the planetary systems. This tree has grown by first penetrating the material nature in three trunks, as me, Shiva, and you, the Almighty, for creation, maintenance, and dissolution, and we three have grown with many branches. Therefore I offer my obeisances unto you, the tree of the cosmic manifestation.
People in general all engage in foolish acts, not in the really beneficial activities enunciated directly by you for their guidance. As long as their tendency for foolish work remains powerful, all their plans in the struggle for existence will be cut to pieces. I therefore offer my obeisances unto him who acts as eternal time.
Your lordship, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you who are what is this word?
Indefatigable. Indefatigable. It's like
it can't be fatigued.
It's yes.
Your lordship, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you who are indefatigable, time, and enjoyer of all sacrifices. Although I am situated in an abode which will continue to exist for a time duration of 2 paradas, although I am the leader of all other planets in the universe, and although I have undergone many, many years of penance for self-realization, still I offer my respects unto you.
Oh, my Lord, by your own will, you appear in the various species of living entities, among animals lower than human beings, as well as among the demigods, to perform your transcendental pastimes. You are not affected by material contamination. You come just to fulfill the obligations of your own principles of religion, And therefore, O Supreme Personality, I offer my obeisances unto you for manifesting such different forms.
Hmm.
Mm.
My lord, you accept the pleasure of sleeping in the water of devastation, where there are violent waves, and you enjoy pleasure on the bed of snakes, showing the happiness of your sleep to intelligent persons. At that time, all the universal planets are situated or stationed within your abdomen.
You know, some might think that that sounds like nightmare material, like floating on an ocean full of snakes.
Yeah, yeah,
In a violence, right? Like it's Vishnu's jam, apparently, though.
right.
Oh, object of my worship, I am born from the house of your lotus navel for the purpose of creating the universe by your mercy. All these planets of the universe were stationed within your transcendental abdomen while you were enjoying sleep. Now, your sleep having ended, your eyes are open like blossoming lotuses in the morning.
I just am like slightly scanning the purport, and it says over there like many people wouldn't understand somebody who could happily sleep
I
in the
know,
ocean of devastation, but
right? But no,
he's sleeping happily.
he's sleeping happily. So this is where fears are fake. I was
Yeah,
just watching this video of Swami Sarvapriyananda talking about we have to allow fear in.
yeah.
And this is like the ultimate example of fear not existing in a state of absolute just
And
supreme.
this just came to me, but I'm noticing this pattern, right, of like epic questions being asked,
Yeah.
and then last chap by Vidura this time,
Yeah.
and then last chapter we what was the name of last chapter?
It was
It was all about Vishnu.
manifestation of Brahma, Vishnu. Yeah.
And then now, so this is what happens, right? Epic questions and then some explanation, followed by a chapter full of obeisances. Haven't we
Yeah.
seen this? Haven't we seen this before?
It's so true. It's so true. And it's like there'll be a whole chapter that's just obeisances. Here we are
So,
in
like,
another.
what's that
Oh,
about? All these epic questions were asked, weren't
that's a
necessarily answered. Maybe they were answered. Maybe they were answered. And it's like my materialism of like, they didn't give me, here's
we
the
didn't
answer to this one. Here's the answer
answer.
to, yeah. Maybe that's why I'm thinking they weren't answered, but now they're going back to obeisances. And so is that a pattern that we should be picking up? Right? We have all these like epic questions, and then we are reminded of where our how we were actually created, and then boom, straight to obeisances for the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Yeah, I like that. That seems like what it's showing us. And it seems like a
Right?
really good way to go about it.
Okay,
Uh,
text 21. Oh, object of right, text 21. Oh, I think it's you.
I'm on 22. You said
Oh, okay, okay. I just didn't flip the page. Let the
I
Supreme. Oh,
go ahead.
you. Is it my turn or your turn?
You're free.
Okay. Let the Supreme Lord be merciful towards me. He is the one friend and soul of all living entities in the world, and he maintains all for their ultimate happiness by his six transcendental opulences. May he be merciful towards me so that I, as before, may be empowered with the introspection to create. For I am also one of the surrendered souls who are dear to the Lord.
I love that. I love these words so much.
So much. So
The
good.
Supreme Lord, the personality of Godhead, is always the benefactor of the surrendered souls. His activities are always enacted through his internal potency, Rama, or the goddess of fortune. I pray only to engage in his service in the creation of the material world. And I pray that I not be materially affected by my works, for thus I may be able to give up the false prestige of being the creator. Yes.
The Lord's potencies are innumerable. As he lies down in the water of devastation, I am born as a total universal energy from the navel lake in which the lotus sprouts. I am now engaged in manifesting his diverse energies in the form of the cosmic manifestation. I therefore pray that in the course of my material activities, I may not be deviated from the vibration of the Vedic hymns. I also pray that.
Yes. The Lord, who is supreme and is the oldest of all, is ultimately merciful. I wish that he may smilingly bestow his benediction upon me by opening his lotus eyes. He can uplift the entire cosmic creation and remove our dejection by kindly speaking his directions.
The sage Maitreya said, O Vidura, after observing the source of his appearance, namely the personality of Godhead, Brahma prayed for his mercy as far as his mind and words would permit him. Thus having prayed, he became silent, as if tired from his activities of penance, knowledge, and mental concentration.
The Lord saw that Brahma was very anxious about the planning and construction of the different planetary systems and was depressed upon seeing the devastating water. He could understand the intention of Brahma, and thus he spoke in deep, thoughtful words, removing all the illusion that had arisen.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead then said, O Brahma, O depth of Vedic wisdom, be neither depressed nor anxious about the execution of creation. What you are begging from me has already been granted before.
O Brahma, situate yourself in penance and meditation and follow the principles of knowledge to receive my favor. By these actions, you will be able to understand everything from within your own heart.
O Brahma, when you are absorbed in devotional service in the course of your creative activities, you will see me in you and throughout the universe, and you will see that you yourself, the universe, and the living entities are all in me.
You will see me in all living entities as well as all over the universe, just as fire is situated in wood. Only in that state of transcendental vision will you be able to be free from all kinds of.
When you are free from the conception of gross and subtle bodies, and when your senses are free from all influences of the modes of material nature, you will realize your pure form in my association. At that time, you will be situated in pure consciousness.
Since you have desired to increase the population innumerably and expand your varieties of service, you shall never be deprived in this matter, because my causeless mercy upon you will always increase for all times.
You are the original Rishi, and because your mind is always fixed on me, and even though you will be engaged in generating various progeny,
Raj,
the vicious mode of passion will never encroach upon you.
although I am not easily knowable by the conditioned soul, you have known me today because you know that my personality is not constituted of anything material, and specifically not of the 5 gross and 3 subtle elements.
When you were contemplating whether there was a source to the stem of the lotus of your birth, and you even entered into that stem. I'm starting over. And my apologies for the reading. Sometimes, like, I'm reading this for the very first time, and these words are so powerful, and some of them are so big. I don't
Yes.
even need to apologize for that. This is live. Okay, this is really live.
Yeah.
When you were contemplating whether there was a source to the stem of the lotus of your birth, and when you entered into that stem, you could not trace out anything. But at that time, I manifested my form from within.
O Brahma, the prayers that you have chanted, praising the glories of my transcendental activities, the penances you have undertaken to understand me, and your firm faith in me, all these are to be considered my causeless mercy.
I'm very much pleased by your description of me in terms of my transcendental qualities, which appear mundane to the mundaners. I grant you all benedictions and your desire to glorify all the planets by your activities.
That, for whatever reason, I just saw the word muggle when it said that, like the mundaners, like on Harry Potter, the muggles are the ones that don't have the magic.
Yeah, exactly.
Any human
Everything
being.
stems from the Srimad Bhagavatam.
Right. Text 40. Any human being who prays like Brahma and who thus worships me shall very soon be blessed with fulfillment of all his desires, for I am the Lord of all benediction. He says that in the Gita. Krishna says that in the Gita.
Yeah.
I am Lord and the recipient of all worship. Yes.
Yes. It is the opinion of expert transcendentalists that the ultimate goal of performing all traditional good works, penances, sacrifices, charities, mystic activities, trances, etc., is to invoke my satisfaction.
I am the super soul of every individual. I am the supreme director and the dearest. People are wrongly attached to the gross and subtle bodies, but they should be attached to me only. Yeah. That's what I was almost talking about earlier. It's like you get caught up in your character. You get stuck
Yes.
in your character and you're like, oh, this is me. This is me.
Right. Text 43. By following my instructions, you can now generate the living entities as before. By dint of your complete Vedic wisdom and the body you have directly received from me, the supreme cause of everything.
And text 44, the sage Maitreya said, after instructing Brahma, the creator of the universe, to expand, the primeval Lord, the personality of Godhead in his personal form as Narayan, disappeared. Wow. That was the end of chapter 9. Wow. It's like I just need to sit here for a minute and just like take all that in. That's a lot. That's actually a lot. Thinking about the idea of Brahma's prayer. Wow.
Right.
Just wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Any thoughts, comments before we wrap this session up this morning, my dear?
I think they said it all. I don't think I can even comment.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? I think you know what I mean.
I
I'm
do.
speechless as always. It's like we finish a chapter and I feel speechless. I don't even the words that we just read were so grand. It feels
Yeah.
like anything I would say that's not an obeisancy unto the supreme. I guess that's what I had to say.
Yeah.
I offer my
Oh,
respectful obeisances to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna. Thank you so much for guiding me and for bringing the Srimad Bhagavatam into my life and for creating this space for me and my beautiful mother, Shannon, to be able to share this with the community all over the world. Anybody can listen to this. My
yeah.
obeisances.
Samesies. Ditto.
All
All right.
right.
Let's get that. See you tomorrow, everyone.
Hare Krishna. Until tomorrow.